What's up, everybody? Welcome to Make Things Tiny. My name is Mick, and today I get to talk to Crystal and Josue. They are the owners and founders of Pacifica Tiny Homes based out of California. I'm super excited to sit down and chat with them, learn about their experiences, and just sort of get some advice for them about starting tiny houses. So I know that everything that they're going to say is going to be super helpful for y'all, so let's jump right into the conversation. So I'm here today with Crystal and Josue, the founders and owners of Pacifica Tiny Homes. Thank you so much for being willing to talk to me. I'm really excited to talk to both of you and hear a little bit more about sort of your story and sort of like how you got into tiny homes. Do you mind just sort of like telling me a little bit about yourselves?
About us personally, or like,
I just like you and sort of like how you ended up with the company, like what led you towards like the tiny house, sort of like community, that sort of thing.
well, a little bit about us. So I was actually an English teacher, middle school and high school, and Josh is a plumber by trade. So we had kind of like our careers there, but one year we got into tiny homes just watching the show and everything, and then one year he just said, I'm going to build a tiny home. I was like, okay. And he designed one. He had his dad start it, work on it, build the whole thing. His dad did it on the weekend, so it took him what, like 3 months,
3 4 months
3 4 months
for the first one, yeah.
to build it, just working on it on the weekends. And it was just a side project. We built it and then we were just renting it out. And then a year later, the next summer, he said, hey, like, let's
Build
build
another.
another one. And so we started building another one. And then, and that was here in Pacifica when we started building it, like on our driveway. And the intention was the same, it's just like make one, put it like on on property and just rent it out. But people would pass by and they would ask, oh, do you build them? Do you sell them? Friends and family, like all these people started asking
Mm.
about buying one. And so we just said, oh, maybe we should do a little business. So we started setting all that up, getting a website, coming up with models, all this stuff. And honestly, our intention was this is just going to be a side thing.
Mm.
Maybe we'll build two or three per year, you know. So it wasn't like meant to be like full scale or like we were gonna quit our jobs to like create a
Yeah.
company. But it just kind of grew and grew and grew to the point where we have this big shop now. We've had up to 50 employees at a time, and it's just, we're building an average of like 10 tiny homes per month. So
Mhm.
it's not like, so we didn't like necessarily intend to start a tiny home company. It just kind of happened.
Yeah. Mm.
Mhm. That makes sense. I mean, that's really exciting though. And now you're building kind of like to scale. I don't think a lot of companies build them that quickly, let alone at that volume. So I think that that's really amazing. That sort of speaks to sort of like your hard work kind of paying off. And I think that's a really, really cool story too. So yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you have any sort of like challenges going into it, especially since it wasn't like something you like initially sat down and were like, we're going to create a company? Like, were there any sort of like, I don't know, like fears going into it or anything sort of like challenges you had to overcome in the beginning?
Kind of, yeah. There were challenges because we never run the business before, so I was learning how to manage project managing software, modeling programs, business, taxes and all that stuff, getting a corporation. So those were the challenges, trying to get insurance for everything, the right insurance for what we need, and and then setting up a shop with infrastructure and assembly lines and all that stuff. So all those were like little challenges, but we were overcoming them little by little.
Hmm.
We're still learning how
Yeah,
to.
of course. How long has the company been sort of like up and running? Like, how long have you been doing this for?
It's
2018.
been, we started in 2018 officially.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's a little over 5 years. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. All right. And what kind of models do you offer? So like for, people that are watching the channel that have never sort of like heard of your company before, they're less familiar with tiny houses, like what are the sort of like models you offer? Like what is the most popular ones that you're selling the most? Like can you talk a little bit about sort of like the products that you offer?
Yeah. So in general, like there's only one model,
Mm-hmm.
only one floor plan.
Okay.
We we try to simplify it for our customers. The less choices they make, the happier they're gonna be with their product.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we have this thing that we kind of have two models, the big cottage and the tiny Victorian. Both of them is the same floor plan, the same model. The
Okay.
roof is the only thing that changes.
Okay.
So in the tiny homes, there's like the roof with the slanted
Mm-hmm.
uh roof, and then there's the gable roof. So
Mm-hmm.
we just name the boxy one the Bay Cottage,
Mm-hmm.
and the one with the triangle roof the Tiny Victorian. So
Okay.
both of those are only models that we have, and right now we're working on our X model,
Yeah.
which is like our Bay Cottage but with a downstairs room.
Okay.
And the prices, huh?
The prices, right now, our smallest tiny home that we build is 18 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and our 18-foot big cottage is 47,900.
Okay.
The that they're currently modeling and designing, that one's gonna start at what, 39?
37,900.
So
Okay.
he's simplify it a little bit more, remove that loft and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
make it like a one level type of thing and create something like a little more affordable. Yeah, because that's actually the price we started at when we started the business, right?
37,000.
Our model started at 37,000.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really great price point too, because you can't really get anything brand new for, under even under 50 grand is, I think your current price point is still in the more affordable range because a lot of them are a lot of tiny homes, as you know, are more expensive now. So, creating one that 37,000 is a really good price for something that's brand new. And also it's an accessible option for people too, because not everybody wants to, climb the ladder. Not everyone can like do the ladder or the stairs. So I think just having one where it's just open floor plan with no loft could probably work for people too, like especially people that want to do like an in-law suite for like aging relatives, that sort of thing with like the ADU thing taking off. So I think that that's a really great affordable potential ADU option for people too.
Gonna be a great option. A lot of people are gonna be happy. It's just like when you enter like an Airbnb or a hotel,
Hmm.
everything neat and clean. That's
Yep.
the point of our X model. You enter into this model, everything nice and neat
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, and with our tiny homes, our standard basic comes with all the essentials,
Hmm.
in your restroom, your living space, your sleeping area, your storage. The stairs are work as storage and closet space. So, it has all the essentials that you need. And we even include like all the, appliances like your stove, your refrigerator, your TV, a sofa. So it's pretty much like ready to just move in. And we know that other places, they sell just like the shell or this or that, but like ours, basically, it's like for the standard basic model, you
you
have
get
everything
everything.
that you need.
Yeah, everything that you need. You don't need to upgrade if you want shiplap. We already put shiplap on all of our homes.
Hmm.
They come with appliances, with furniture, with the TV, everything
Oh,
included.
wow.
Nice, yeah.
That's really nice because I feel like a lot of people will go into looking to buy a tiny house and they'll think that like 50K or 70K includes more than it does. Like a lot of builders will charge a lot more for like even shiplap being included would be that'd be like an upcharge. TVs, even some appliances are not like for some appliances aren't included at all in the base price. So I think that that's definitely something to note for people too. So that's definitely something that I'll keep in mind when I think of ways to like, of course, like advertise what y'all are doing. But that's a huge selling point to me as someone that, knows a little bit about what people are offering. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I've seen your designs too. They're really beautiful. Like I pay attention to everything that y'all are doing on Instagram and stuff like that. So like I think that you're creating like really, they're really clean and like they're modern and they look really nice. You do a lot of really cool things with wood and so I think they look really good too for especially for the price, but just in general.
Yeah, and if you like, I always tell people, like you mentioned, we basically have just one floor plan.
Hmm.
Um, it's a roof style that changes, but all of our homes, they on the interior, they mostly look the same, but it's the customer, the person that makes it their
Mhm.
own, that likes it. So if you do see, like on our social media, like when we posted pictures or videos of like customers at, and what they've done with their
Mhm.
home, like they do these beautiful like
Yeah.
things with their home, the way they decorate it and all of that. So even though they're all technically the same, you
Yeah.
know, they all have like their own personality, which is
Mhm.
great. So it's
Mhm.
kind of like we're providing this like canvas and they're the ones,
Mhm.
making it,
Mhm.
making the art.
Yeah, I'm sure most people really like that too, though, because the whole point is to be able to do something that you can like kind of make your own. So I think that that makes complete sense to me. I know that you have a pretty good, like presence on social media. You use all of them if I remember correctly. I think you're on Instagram, you have TikTok, you do YouTube as well. Like, can you talk a little bit about like sort of what made you decide to go and use like social media as like a marketing tool, like how that's going for you? Like I don't know, just anything you want to talk about with your sort of like your social media presence.
I could say, yeah. So social media works good for us, like
Mhm.
before there was no iPhones, no
Yep.
smartphones. I really relied on going on TV and looking at commercials.
Mhm.
So now nobody does that. Everybody's on their phone. So we use social media so we can get our voice ourselves out there, let everybody know that we're selling tiny homes.
Mhm.
And we use Facebook, we use
Mhm.
Instagram, we use Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, we use X, and they all serve almost like a different purpose. Like for example, Facebook, we market Facebook because there's a lot of older generations that
Mhm.
they're ready to retire, they're
Mhm.
ready to buy a tiny home.
Mhm.
We right now we're trying to invest a lot on TikTok. We're nurturing to a lot of young kids
Mhm.
that they're going to be turning 18, 19. They're going to start getting jobs, and with the housing crisis, they're going to need a home. So we're trying to nurture them right now. And then a lot of young folks on Instagram, on Threads,
Millennials like
millennials like
that.
us
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
kind of skills.
Mhm.
They want something simple.
Mhm.
So we're feeding them through Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and X.
And
Yeah.
YouTube, I mean, everybody goes to YouTube
Yep.
for
Mhm.
everything. So,
Yeah.
we try to post everything there as well. Because when you want to find out stuff, when he's
Yes.
doing research, he always goes to YouTube, to
Yeah.
YouTube. So,
So YouTube is very important for us too because we're using it for like informational.
Yep.
Uh, we're doing a lot of interviews with customers. So when
Mhm.
people want to see you, they're gonna it's a big investment,
Yeah.
where they want to buy their home. We want them to see interviews with other customers to see how it went, how it
Mhm.
was for that person purchasing. So overall, social media has been working out good for us at this point.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And, it helps people just sort of like think of you too. And I mean, YouTube is a great place for information. It's one of the reasons why I started this channel, just to give people more information about tiny houses. And it's where I go when I have questions, or, I just want to watch videos of people doing like tours for tiny houses and stuff like that. So I think that that's really smart to interview customers and just show people like, hey, this person already bought one and this is what it's like. Cause maybe when they're hesitant because they're not sure like if it's really going to be a good fit for them. So I think that that's a really good strategy too. I'm glad that it's working for you guys.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm. So what like advice would you have for someone who's like interested in starting a tiny house company? Like as more and more people get into, tiny houses, like, there'll be more people that want to create companies too, like similar to yours. Like, do you have any advice for anyone if they're just starting out?
Yeah, yeah. If they're starting out, for us, nobody told us how to, for example, where to get a business license.
Mm-hmm.
Told us what type if you needed like to get an LLC or a corporation. Like I mentioned before, the type of insurances that you need. I think at one point we're double paying insurance. We're
Oh,
paying
wow.
insurance to protect the tiny homes, at the shop, and then we're paying homes to transport them twice. So
Mm-hmm.
so the main thing is to go on YouTube is a good way. They could go and like what are the requirements that they need so they can successfully start a business and first have those in place before
Mm-hmm.
they actually building because we did it the opposite way. We were building and then getting all these things at the same time, and it kind of messes up a little bit, especially when it's time to doing your taxes.
Yeah.
and you don't have a CPA, you're not organized, you don't have a bookkeeper and all that, and then by the end of the year, you're like, oh, I should have done this in the beginning. So our recommendation is to get all their business portfolio ready. There's only like 10 things, not
Yeah.
even that much. A bookkeeping, um, CPA, stuff like that, software managing program, and get a
Website.
website, get a website ready, all the essentials for business, get those running, even though you don't have a business yet, and then start building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of work, and I mean, like I said, we started about over 5 years ago, so there wasn't as much information back then as there is now. Like we said, now you can go on YouTube and look up anything, like how do I do this, how do I do that, and there's all these people showing you how to do all these things. So a lot of it we kind of were figuring it out on our own. And trying to ask people who have a business, like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And little by little, like getting the
Yeah.
hang of it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, that, um, I lost my train of thought. That when you're starting a business, like there's, you also need to, I mean, the other thing was like, I mean, besides like all that bureaucratic stuff, it was also like, getting the land and the shop ready for where we were going to build and all that. So you have to also think about that location and all that, and the name of your company and stuff. For us, we're building in Central Valley, right? California. And it makes sense because the land there is cheaper, versus the Bay Area. If we would have tried to like do it here in the Bay Area, oh,
It would
it would have been like it'd be really expensive, to find land, to find a shop and all that stuff. But in Central Valley, we got a good deal on commercial land, and everything. And then there's a lot of like workforce there, a lot of labor. So that helped a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll keep some secrets away. So if anybody's starting a business out there, tiny home business, this is probably gonna save them thousands of dollars. So one thing for them to do is go talk to your city, and the city usually normally owns land that, if you're starting a business there, you'll get it. If it costs $500,000, you'll probably get like what happened to us. You'll probably get it for $100,000 just because you start a business. So that's one. Another thing, I'll get a project managing software. One that I recommend that works perfect and has saved us thousands of dollars is called Monday.com. That's
Okay.
now if anybody's starting a tiny home business, they're gonna need to model the homes. So there's different softwares like Revit, like AutoCAD. They're the same family. There's SketchUp. We choose to use SketchUp for this purpose, and it has saved us thousands of dollars too as well. So those are like the three main recommendations I have: SketchUp, Monday.com, and talking to your city too for land.
Mm-hmm. And I think for us too, another thing that helped is using our family and friends, and like, who have different skills and things like that, and nurturing that, and helping them grow in our business. So just seeing like what they're good at, like my younger brother, since he was a kid, like 3 years old, he's loved video games, right? He was obsessed with video games, computers, like. So I told him, I was like, I'm pretty sure he would be really good at modeling, even though he hadn't technically done it. But then, one day he told him like, hey, we use this software, blah, blah, check it out. And then the next day he's like, oh, I started modeling a house. Like, so he figured out like that. I was like, I told you he was going to be good at that. So it's just looking, people, around you who you trust, family, friends, who have these skills, giving them that opportunity, and helping each other grow.
Especially nowadays, before, it used to be like, oh, don't start a business with your family. But
Yeah.
things have changed over time. COVID happened and all that.
Yeah.
Now the ones you want to trust is you want to be close to your family. But if anybody's gonna start a business, I do recommend to know how to delegate with family. And then like Crystal said, choose whoever has, who goes where, so it could be successful. Our business is practically, 90% family. So it's a family business. In the office, every single one of our employees are family except for
You just like
just one or two.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're
Office staff. Yeah.
office staff.
Mhm.
But there's to us, they're still family.
Mhm. I think that's really good advice though too, just to use the resources that you have, like use your family and your friends and support. And I appreciate you like mentioning those secrets about like, going to the city and different things like that, because I think most people think like you can learn and you can learn things as you go, but I think the more you can do beforehand, it'll save you, time and money. And I know that, tiny house companies, like I know that it's like it can be a really expensive business because you are building a house. I think people think that it's smaller and maybe it's like a lot less expensive, but it still takes a lot of time and a lot of labor and a lot of resources. So I think your advice is definitely going to save people some money. So I think you appreciate you, saying that to people. I hope that that's really helpful to people out there. So yeah, I think that's really great advice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to see, continue to follow you guys and see what you do. Like links to all of your socials, are in the description for the video. So like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of it, so that people know exactly where to go, to your website and also to just sort of like, learn more about you and, reach out and ask questions. So I'm sure that all the information that you've, provided here today is going to be really helpful for someone. And it's also helpful for me just to learn more about things. And, I want to buy a tiny house one day. I want to start my own tiny house company in the future too. So like I just, and appreciate being able to learn from y'all and respect everything that you're doing. And, hopefully can have you on the channel again in the future, like as you keep doing things, like just continue to update me on what you're up to. And yeah, we can like, connect again. And yeah, so appreciate it. Thank you.
We're pretty open, and like he does like the lives, and so he's
Mhm.
answers questions. We're open about like what we do and how we do things. We show everything. We give tours at our shop. We show people how we're building them, like what we do. So, obviously, people are interested, want to know more. Like we're more than willing to share and, explain like how
Yeah.
we get things done.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Well, we'll talk again soon. And thanks again for being on the channel.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. All right. All right, that was my conversation with Crystal and Josue. Super helpful, really informative stuff. I know I learned a ton just learning about their journey from building one tiny house to just realizing they could do more, and now they're growing at a really great rate, growing and doing things to scale, being really successful on social media with everything they're doing on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. So please make sure you check out on their socials. Links to all their socials are here in the video. Link to their website. You can look at their models, look at their pricing sheet, look into what they offer a little bit more. They are offering things at a pretty affordable price, in my opinion, especially for what you're getting. It's a really beautiful design with all the things that they have to offer. So just make sure you check everything out that they're doing. And thank you so much again for watching. If you're new to the channel, please do take a second to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Tap the notification bell so you find out when I drop new videos. I drop new videos every single week, and you don't want to miss what's coming up next. I've got a really cool interview with another tiny house builder. So just super excited for all the different things that are coming about with the channel here. So thank you all so much for everything and all of your support. And don't forget to think tiny. See you guys in the next video.